This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Tuesday, October 29th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so some good stuff going on out there. First thing we're going to be looking at is BYND. So obviously, they did not have good earnings. We've talked about this so many times. It just was unbelievable how high that the stock actually went and what kind of stock it actually is. It was a matter of time before we saw the numbers really kind of come in and really just show what it is. At the end of the day, it's vegetable meat. So being at $300 is a little bit overboard. So this morning coming in, I'm not really worried at all about the covering that we see coming in because you can see that 85 level. Yes, we know we keep getting those ass prints. I'm really just interested in new selling. We know for a fact that this thing is going to be an exception. It trades about $7 on average, but we can expect a lot more than that. We could already see our range, falling from that 95 level over $10, and that's not even from what we saw when it fell from yesterday underneath that 106 level all the way down to 90. So this thing is it's hemorrhaging at the moment. We are seeing covering, so remember that. If we continue to just start to see covering coming in and we're not getting that new selling, we're going to see this thing come right back. I mean, not only when I say right back up, I don't mean all the way back up to that 106 level, but I do mean a substantial move back towards that upside. So as long as we keep getting these new bursts of selling, we should see this thing at least, I mean, you're talking about 75. But one thing to keep in mind as well is remember, based off today, it's going to be an exception. So make sure you understand that if we get some really good prints, you might not see an immediate pullback. All right, and more than likely you're not going to. So just keep that in mind as we're watching this. This is going to be more of an advanced type stock. It's going to have a lot more volume than it usually does and a lot more range. All right, next thing is Grub. So I'm a little upset about this, to be completely honest. I love this company. I love the ability to order food from pretty much anywhere. I mean, that's probably more than the company. The company itself is and there's a lot of competition that we see continuously popping up in these things. But one thing that we need to realize is that we're seeing a lot of selling as we're coming down to this 39 level. Now, yes, is there covering coming in too? Of course there is. But 39.50, we can see those big bids that came in. 39, we continuously keep getting underneath that 39 level, so it is pulling up off of some selling, but that's really what it looks like, is pulling up from selling, not movement towards the upside. So overall 39, that guy really does need to make a lot more money. And I really like this position right here too. And you guys, I talk about these all the time when we see it's 38.65. But the reason I like it is because it's weird. It just doesn't, it's a weird spot to have a burst of prints come in like that. So you know what? It's certainly something to keep in mind. Those are the type of things that kind of stick out. Obviously, we need controlling prints to really go out there and show us that it's time to take a trade. But when I see stuff like this, it adds a big variable to what I'm expecting to happen. And this definitely shows more of a short term. I need to make some money quickly. Next thing, PCG. Now, PCG I can't take off of our list. I know it's not really doing anything, but the reason that I'm keeping it on our list is because what we talked about yesterday. Okay, and we were talking about the fact that based off of all that selling that was coming in and the buying that we had back up before that we needed to see a pretty substantial pullback that came into it. And now just for some reason yesterday when we were sitting down at like the 360 level, I had the number 412 in my head. But based on what we're seeing coming into this morning, there's definitely a lot more room to come into there. So it's just something, it is on my side list, okay, but it is something that I am going to obviously not, just take my eyes off of, especially with such a cheap stock like this that's really got a lot of people looking at it. And, there's very easy 25-cent, well, I don't want to say easy at all because the amount of volume, the amount of people looking into it actually make it a little bit harder for you to be able to interpret the prints. But at the same time, this is a stock that's going to show you 25, 50 cents and it's $4. So $4, very, very cheap, can trade a lot of shares of it, something that I'm going to be obviously continuing to watch. XNet, make sure you get shares. All right, it's hard to borrow, but there are shares that are available. And from yesterday, remember, we needed this thing to really start to break down, and it just got stuck. It was really in that consolidation, but we could see it starting to break underneath that 5 level. Just keep in mind that 5 is a very hard level to hold underneath. Basically what happens in a stock is once it goes under 5, and this is, if a stock is always very, very cheap, this does not really apply. But you have a stock that used to be $25, $50, $100, anything like that. Once it goes underneath the 5 level, things basically start to go into panic mode. So what happens is that anyone that's long this stock, because you got to remember, even though a stock is just being destroyed, you're still going to have investors that are in it. But anytime a stock does go under that 5, people start to panic and they really try to hold it up. So you get a lot of information around the 5 level to really, give you an idea of what's going to be looking to happen in not only in the near future, but in the more longer term future as well, whether or not it's going to be able to actually hold up above and even stay a stock. Now, I don't have worries about it staying a stock at all, but remember from what we had yesterday, that amount of selling, and we're still seeing a lot of new selling coming in underneath. So make sure that if you have TradeStation, you get those shares that are available, because I'm going to be looking for this thing to take a pretty substantial hit. And then it's funny because I said yesterday as spot, I thought that was that they split. Okay, but I think that I might have been thinking about Strata, even though I really think it was Spotify. Yeah, I understand, but so a shop is, I think, what I was thinking about yesterday coming in. I'm going to put it on our side list because I haven't seen anything pretty much since this morning on the bigger print side of things besides selling. Now, is there a lot of selling coming in? No, not really. But one print does have a large effect on a stock like this, especially when there's really no orders out there at all, and you can see the spread right now is 91 cents. So one tick actually moves this thing $1. So it's going to be very advanced, but the range is definitely going to be huge. So if you're using options or if you got a lot of money in your account, this might be for you. I know it's a little bit. It's very expensive for the most of us, most people in the world. But I have to put it on there just because we know this thing's going to be a huge mover. So I am going to be, I personally am going to end up trading this today. Did CRM have anything worth noting at end of day? Volume ramped up a bit. Let's take a look, because that was the end of my list. All right, so CRM, not really, but right here, this is interesting, 154.80 at 352, but it was just too close. Yeah, so not really much there. I mean, you have some volume that came in at after 4, on some bigger prints. We could use these as levels, but not really anything spectacular. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? I think we are good to go. Not a ton of stuff, but at the same time, we definitely have some stuff that's really going to trade well today. Especially BYND, and then looking at that grub with a lot of selling coming in. All right, guys, so let's get ready for our morning Traders Exchange at 12:30. Also, one more spot left open for on-site. Make sure you email myself or DM at rich@atc.trade. Other than that, guys, talk to everyone in the chat and happy trading.